hired security, outside security, to be in the gallery. And like this upcoming show, we're doing that just because the insurance value is so high and the nature of the show, it required it.
You mentioned pieces getting damaged. You've had pieces get damaged before?
Yeah, a private event, that was one, the hair event, actually. And, everything's insured. It's really unfortunate. But they bumped into a photograph and just totally destroyed it. So, but that's like the worst call you can make to an artist. I mean, he was compensated financially, but still, it just, it was like, that was not a good day. Mm-hmm. But it happens, or with tours, sometimes people just, like, even when we're sitting on a show, you have to think about spatially, people have bags and coats, and as they turn around, just anticipating, like, because things get bumped or...
Yeah, we noticed when we were looking in your exhibit that you have up here that some of the pieces were on the floor. And
like freestanding sculptures. And do you worry about those a lot, or...?
Sometimes, yes. Yeah, we learned, like, we had a Lego show, and that one was tough because kids loved it, but, they're used to touching and playing with Legos, and, like, we had an 8-foot-high pencil on a short pedestal, and we just on the floor kind of created a barrier. But I mean, kids would run up, and like I remember one of my coworkers had to physically, like, at one point jump in front and be like, stop, because this kid was like running up to embrace the pencil.
Oh gosh.
So we ended up putting a stanchion around that. And I think that was the other damage that happened this last year, was there was a freestanding piece that got bumped into. So we've learned the hard way too. I mean, we try our best, and it's hard because you try to balance, like, how to display something, like the way the artist intended to be seen, and once you start throwing up a stanchion or putting a vitrine, sometimes that changes the viewing experience. Mm-hmm. But you have to kind of weigh the viewing experience with security, and try to maintain an aesthetic with that. Practical balance.
Yeah. And do you ever worry about any other sort of like conservation issues? Do you worry about the humidity or the temperature in here?
Not so much humidity, just because we're so dry. Light, definitely. We did an Ansel Adams photography show last year, and we have light meters, and that we really had to watch that. Do reports weekly and meter things. And even when we were lighting it, that show took forever to light. We just, you put the meter up, do the light, it's too hot, it's too high, and, moving it back, finding a different angle, and then UV too. That scrim in there is a UV, but still it's, metering just, it changes so much time of day.
Yeah. So does that screen do a lot of protection from the UV?
It does, yeah. But that's been an interesting challenge, is there's a lot of natural light that comes into that gallery, which is wonderful, but we've done a couple of glass shows, and glass is shown better when you can really
when you can
spot it. Yeah, and so it's hard for us to create a blackout environment in there. And every show has its own challenge, which I like overall. I mean, we're constantly looking for creative solutions, and we don't have a lot of resources, so we really have to get creative. We have a lot of MacGyver moments.
It sounds like a very adaptable museum.
Yeah, we try to be, and I appreciate that. We're adaptable, and we can be really flexible in our programming too. We're not married to any theme. It's not like we just do Western art. We can present a variety of mediums and themes throughout a year. Like last year, I laugh. We went from bikers to beauty queens to bricks. So we started out with the Dandelions photography show, and he embedded with a group of motorcyclists in the 60s, and did these amazing black and white photographs. And then after that show went down, we installed a show of Miss America from 1952 with a lot of the gowns she wore during her tour as Miss America that year, and they were all handmade. I mean, they were gorgeous. But that's a big departure. And we brought that down and then did the Lego show. So that's quite a spread. But again, it kind of hit different. It was so interesting to see the different segments of the community that it drew in with each medium. You know, it hit someone different in a different way. So, you can't be everything to everyone, so we just try to do that. You know, do that with each show.
What's the kind of audience that you're aiming for?
The community. So, like, one of the things when we're meeting as a committee, that question is, you know, how does it relate to the community? And again, not that it needs to be Western themed, but I think some things, some subjects, some mediums just don't translate as well in this community as others. I'm trying to give you guys an example. Like, I think if we were to do an exhibition of, you know, Chinese ceramics, there'd be a small group of people that would be all over it, but the community at large probably wouldn't be chomping at the bit to come see that.
Do you
I
have
could
an
be wrong.
opportunity to do something like that with Chinese ceramics? Has that been presented?
It hasn't, but I think it was something where there would be a big discussion of, like, you know, is there enough of an audience here to spend the money to, you know, go through the whole thing.
Because that would be an unbelievable exhibit.
But I question if we're the appropriate venue for that. You know, I think like the UMFA that would be better suited for them than us. I could be wrong. Like the Miss America thing, I was not a big fan of. I was like, what are we doing ball gowns? But in the end, like, it was a really successful show, and it turned out great. And I learned a lot through that, and I changed my tune. And that's a great thing too about, like, I'm glad I work with the committee because, again, we are representing the community. So I don't want it all to fall on me to make those decisions. I feel like, you know, there should be different interests represented. Some shows I've done a lot of shows here that weren't my favorite or, you know, my preference for art, but there was a compelling reason to do it for someone else in the community or another reason. I think that's really important. So.
I have a question that might sound like hippie crap, so just bear with it.
No.
We've been studying museums during this semester, and we see a lot of references to museums as a temple of learning or a temple of discussion, a temple of the people. If you were to use a word to describe this museum, what would be as a temple?
I don't think I'd even use temple. But I don't feel like we're that pristine, and I mean, we're kind of gritty. Look, we're like in a dilapidated garage, but no, I like that. I love, yeah. There's like a lot of history here.
It's a good feel here.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just drawing.
we are starting to take on a capital campaign for a new building addition, though, because we are.
Yeah,
this building's starting to feel its history, but temple of experience. Right? That's what we're really trying to like experience in art. And that's what we're really trying to present is that value off. Like there's something here for everyone to experience the art, whether it's visually, like walking through a show, or taking a class and making a ceramic piece, or we do art talks, so coming and listening to a lecture. So we're like a temple of experiences. I don't know if that.
Oh, that's perfect.
I love it.
Yeah. With those activities, you offer a lot of opportunities for people to come and experience the museum, participate in these activities. Have those been as successful as you think they could be?
Some are great, some are doozies. You know, like our art talk series. We try to do an art talk once a month, and they're free, and they're sometimes tied to the show or just on a loosely art-related topic. Like this last one we had last night was actually on branding, and kind of creating a visual brand that makes an impact. And for those art talks, we've had as little as 2 people attend to over almost 100. So, you know, I feel like we learn as we go, and we could definitely be better about being more strategic and trying to target, but sometimes you just have no idea. Like last night, 60 people showed up for that branding session. So,
how do you advertise those activities and also the museum in general to